Hi, I'm Anna Olsen here on Insights into Consciousness on A1R Radio. I'm here every Thursday night, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time and 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. I do live readings on the air. I also will talk about different topics on my show of interest to viewers. If you have any things that you're interested in that you'd like me to go over, I'd be happy to hear from you. You can always reach me on my website, AnnaOlsenIntuitive.com. That's ANNAOLSEN, intuitive.com, and that's at the bottom of your screen. So tonight I'm doing something kind of fun for Christmas, and I usually love to do something for everyone for Christmas. I love to give out Christmas presents. I love the time of year. I love gift giving and the whole concept of the Christmas spirit, and et cetera, et cetera. So basically, tonight I'm doing a little bit of a Christmas present. We're going to do a little bit of a free reading show. So I'm going to do a what's in store for the new year show. So tonight I'm going to look into a couple of different topics that may be of interest to some people. I know they're of interest to me, and I'm thinking that we're going to go over some things that may be coming up in the new year for 2020, and we can go over some different things such as I'm not a big politics person, but I'm getting that from guides and stuff, that there's something going on with politics, or there's something going on in the world that we could probably go over tonight. So this is all new to me, actually. So I go as I get the messages, and then I just relay it. So my part is relaying the message. I do readings, private readings as well. So if you would like to have a private reading with me, I can do those on the phone as well. Again, my website is AnnaOlsenIntuitive.com. And then you can also reach me on Facebook, Anna Olsen Intuitive. So I am going to, first of all, go into the new year and what's in store. So I have a deck of cards here, and this is the Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reed. And I really love this deck. I love the positive vibe. I love the art, all of that. The first thing that I want to go over that I'm getting for 2020, the first thing I'm getting is that the economy is going to be improving in 2020. We've had a lot of issues with the economy. We've had a lot of issues with unemployment, and I'm seeing that will start to steadily improve next year. So the industries that I see improving quite a bit are it's interesting because I'm getting tech, and I'm getting labor force. A lot of the labor force and tech industries are going to be getting better. There's going to be some new jobs opening up. Investors can kind of look more into new technologies coming out for not only website development, but online, different tools that people can utilize for their online usage and their websites. So there's going to be some really great stuff coming up there. We're gonna kind of veer a little bit off of the materialism, clothing, all of that. We're gonna take a few steps back from that, because I think there's really going to be a new movement coming up in the next 5 years, where people will start to come more from a minimalistic approach in the U.S. at least, and it'll be more geared towards the minimalistic lifestyle, to renew and reuse things more, to budget well, to get rid of stuff, not to be such a buyer's market for clothing, or for things that are not absolutely necessary in your daily life, that aren't extremely lucrative for, let's say, your job or your career. It's going to be more geared towards online website development and new tools that are coming up this year. And I want to say it's more techie stuff, like how we came out with the Alexas, the Echo Dots, all of that. We're going to see a lot of improvements in technology that's good for the home and for people. So that's the first thing. The second one that I'm getting is that we're going to have a lot of movement with women and women's resources. So this year, I'm definitely seeing that there's going to be more options for women. I want to say either through the government, like a government program that will help women who are needing to go back to work, but are going to, they're going to have a baby, they're pregnant, they're expecting, they're going to have, this maternity leave improvement that I feel is going to come up. I don't know if it's like something that the Trump presidency is working on right now, but I'm definitely seeing some improvements there because I think that they are realizing that we're pretty far behind on women and their leave for work. For their maternity leave. So I think there would be a couple of improvements with the paternity leave too. So I'm seeing those things kind of moving into the House, and I don't follow up on any of this. I really honestly just stay far away and introverted away from politics. So, it's interesting how this stuff just comes through, and I haven't been following it at all because I've just been doing my family stuff and my business, and I just stay, as far away from it as I can unless there's something I can do in the immediate time frame. So, I really see a lot of improvements and new spiritual movements coming up for women and for their households and for who they are. So I have a caller from Kentucky. Caller, are you on the line?
Yes.
Hi there.
Hello.
Can I get your name?
Hi. Angela.
Angela. I had seen it on the screen. I forgot it in a few seconds because I was talking. So how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How was your Christmas?
Oh, it was great. I'm busy. It was very busy.
Yeah. It's a busy time of year.
Yeah. It's exhausting, really.
It can be. I agree. So, do you have anything that you'd like me to focus on tonight, or do you have a question for me tonight?
Do you talk? I mean, do you do mediums, or can you talk to our dead loved ones, or?
Yeah, that can come through. I do general readings, but usually that does come through if it's supposed to come through. So that's definitely a possibility.
Okay. Yeah, just in general, what do you see?
Well, I am getting. It's interesting because right away I got a mail presence. And, sometimes it's not really clear at first, like exactly what kind of presence it is, but I got either brother or husband. And so that's the first thing that I got. But I'm noticing a presence of somebody he kind of looks a little bit younger. I don't know if it would, and this can be a little confusing because sometimes spirits, when they cross, even if they're, 80 when they cross, then when you see them, they look 30. Or 25, but he looks about 40. He looks about 40 to me, 40 years old.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm seeing that he's kind of tall in stature, kind of light skinned.
Mm-hmm.
Is any of this ringing a bell for you?
Yeah, I'll keep going. I'm wondering if it's somebody. But
okay.
You have to describe him a little bit more for me to know.
Okay, yeah, and he has a really warm presence. So he basically feels very comforting and very. I want to say his hair is like lighter, but sometimes spirits look really bright, so it can throw the hair color off. But it looks like maybe a dark sandy blonde.
Okay.
And And he has kind of casual clothing on. Like he seems like he'd be kind of relaxed in his personality.
Mhm. Yeah. I think I have somebody in mind, that I would like to hear from. So I don't know if it's just me, wanting to hear from them, or if it's, so you'd have to keep going. You'd have to, I guess, say something specific for me to know for sure.
Well, I kind of get this fatherly feeling from him, but it's kind of like a male. Um, but I kind of get more brother. So sometimes I can be husband too, because when we marry, it's like your husband can also kind of fill in where your father left off, it's just some of these little it's kind of something that I just bounce off of you, so you can kind of fill me in too, because sometimes I'm getting all these messages and it doesn't make an exact sense to me either. I just get it and I tell you what I get, and then usually your confirmation is helping you to stay involved in it.
Right. Well, the light skin or whatever, that makes sense. I mean, the person I'm thinking about has red hair. I mean, red hair, not like fire engine red or nothing like that, or carrot red. It's just like a auburn. Well, not really even auburn, like more blonde red than. Hard to explain, but so they come with light skin. So, and yeah, so I don't know if it's who you're talking about or not. And he's an uncle that was like a dad, but my
right. And I'm getting the snow for him, but he likes the sun. So for some reason he's saying I like the sun, but I'm getting like the sign of snow.
He likes the sun. So what did you say?
He likes the sun, but he's showing me the snow. So it's interesting. It's like he's saying, I prefer, the sunshine, but he's showing me the snow for some reason. Like maybe that was surrounding him shortly before he passed.
Right. Yes.
And
yeah.
Does that make any
sense? Makes sense. It does make sense. It does. And it could in two different ways. Like if you're really seeing like the sun, then the snow, it can make sense that you would be talking about it. It's not his son, right? Or okay. All right. Yeah. Then both ways make sense. So.
Okay.
I mean, I can tell you. I mean, I could tell you why. I'm sure you don't want me to. Just.
No, you can tell me whatever is making sense for you, so that I can. It's confirming for me, so that I know I'm going in the right direction.
It does. It does make sense. Yes.
Okay. And basically, he's showing me for some reason sledding in the snow. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but sledding in the snow, trees, a lot of pine trees. I'm seeing a lot of trees. He's showing me the mountains, and he's saying that there was like a good time there. I guess you could say I don't know if there's family time there or something. What I get is feelings and symbols.
Yes, I know. Keep going, because you're doing good. I mean, it's making sense.
Okay, and he's saying, I wish I could be there for Christmas, because I know we just passed Christmas, and he's also saying that he was there, though. That he was by the tree, by the Christmas tree.
Okay. All right.
He wishes that he could. He's saying he wishes he could have been there. That I don't know if there was a visit regularly with the family with this person around the holidays, specifically Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah,
go ahead.
No, you're doing good. I mean, every Christmas he was.
Okay.
Kind of the type.
What was that? I couldn't hear exactly.
I want to tell you, but I mean, you're doing good. So I'm just.
Okay. Yeah, and he's just saying that there's something about I guess a necklace or something. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but he's saying something about a necklace or a jewel, maybe a ring, a piece of jewelry. Maybe he left one for someone, or he gave one to you, perhaps, or he gave one to a spouse or a sister or something. And he's pointing to that as a confirmation. And sometimes these things make more sense later.
Right.
And I know I go through a lot of information pretty fast. So people are like, I'm not sure. And then later on they'll contact me again and they'll be like, oh yeah, it was this, they gave, so-and-so this for
Right.
Christmas or something. But I'm getting that. And I'm also getting that he is, he's still in the same place, meaning he's still in the mountains and that's where he goes. He's visiting whoever is there. He's around there. His presence is there. So he's confirming that.
Could he be like? Could he mean like here, or I mean, could he like he's confirming his presence is still around here and not? I mean, not necessarily.
He's just saying he's in the place where the snow and the mountains is. I'm not sure if there's like a cabin there or a house there where he lived or somebody that he knows there maybe. But he's showing me that. So I am very curious though, like what parts of this is making sense for you right now?
Well, he actually passed away. He went on a hunting trip to Minnesota. And he was trying to get back for his granddaughter's birthday in December, right before Christmas. And they slipped on ice, and that's so he died. He slipped on the ice. They wrecked and died when he was trying to get home for his granddaughter's birthday, which, like I said, is really close to Christmas. But that was 15 years ago. So,
okay.
And it was very unexpected.
Okay.
And
wow, that's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. I did kind of get that there's the death in the snow and the cold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm wondering, if there's a way. So his daughter, you said there was something about his daughter. He wanted to get back.
It was his granddaughter, her birthday. It was the day he was coming back, and they say he was trying to get back for that. He was due to come back, from the trip, but it was very unexpected, like an invincible, person, in a lot of people's eyes, something happened to him like that. So,
right. Well, it's interesting because, you say it was 15 years ago and just like people feel like they just lost the person, even though 15 years has passed, they still feel it very, very strongly, especially their immediate family. But the spirits who passed, these people who passed, they still feel like it was just yesterday to them. They don't realize that 15 years has gone by. So for them, it still feels like it just happened. But the other part of that is that they're still with us. They're still with you, and they're still, right there with their children. And I really feel a connection to the children, that he really wants them to know that he is still with them. I feel like there's one in particular, maybe it's a grandchild, it could be one of his children, who really feels like they're alone, and they really feel such a grief surrounding this, and he's asking this child or grandchild that to move on and to live life to the fullest, because he doesn't want to be the reason for their grief, their deep grief.
Right. So he could be meeting his son.
Yeah.
His son, for sure.
Yeah,
I've talked a lot about him with him lately about the place he was in when his dad got killed, and so
I'm sure that was traumatic for him.
Yes, not at first because he didn't know, but right after, right after it, you're usually, yeah. I just talked to him recently about it, yeah. But
so he's asking that there be. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just gonna ask. He started a company way back then, and now I'm trying to run it. So I was just wondering if you see anything on the business or
the business.
Yeah.
You know, the main thing I'm seeing about the business is to go big, because I feel like with the business, it's kind of kept small because there's some fear of risk, because you don't want to lose the business and you don't want to, do anything too extreme because you're afraid you're going to lose too much if you go too big. And I'm getting that he's saying, go ahead and go big or go home. That's what he's saying about it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's more like, it's more like branching out. Do you have the possibility of investors with the business?
No. It's a company he started, and then he went big with it. He over the years, he expanded and went big. But then, he got killed, and my aunt and uncle was put in charge of it, and then they sold it to a crook. The crook just demolished it down to nothing, and then his son bought it back and asked me to help him run it.
Okay, so he's kind of filling in on his dad's legacy, and you're helping him with that. That's great for you to do, and that's probably where all this is coming back around to, is you wanting to know what to do with the business, and he's just saying, like, go ahead and let it go big, whatever that means. It might make sense more later, but Spirit tells us things that make perfect sense at some point.
Right. Right. I mean, it makes sense. I've had people tell me that, but getting started back and stuff, it's like starting from square one, like he did way back in the day. It's like we started brand new. So it's just really, it takes a while to get the bank account big enough to, go big or go anywhere really. But
I can understand that. It's kind of a scary leap of faith to make when you're restarting everything.
Right. Which, it's his son's money from the estate, and he just bought his dad's company back, with the money that he got from the company, from selling it pretty much, just so he could keep it and starting all over. And it's hard for me to be in charge and want to go big, because afraid to lose. I don't want to lose it again when he's just bought a company back that's already his, pretty much.
Right. Yeah. It's like starting from square one, but I feel like it's really in your family to know how to do this business, and it's in his son's blood to know how to do this business.
Right.
And if you guys are that good at it, you can go big and you can be successful. The other guy didn't do it well because it wasn't what he was meant to do. He just thought it sounded like a good idea. And I feel like he also had some substance abuse issues that didn't, that kind of affected his work ethic.
What did you say? What was the last part you said? I didn't.
I said, the last guy who bought the business, I feel like he had some substance abuse issues, and that's basically also why he didn't do very well in it. He wasn't functioning well.
He wasn't functioning well. He functioned really well, too well enough to buy up all kinds of companies and then let them go bankrupt so he could open more. He was a crook.
That doesn't sound like a good
He was a crook. That was his plan. His plan was to take the company down to nothing. Cash cow it, He was cash cowing it while he had it. Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming that people who are super functioning don't do that. I'm not sure. I've never been a career criminal, but
Right.
I think that probably, if you guys know how to do this, I feel like it'll just be up and running quickly. He's saying to go ahead and go big. Don't be afraid to, invest some time and some money into it. You can still do some baby steps at first, and then you can it'll take off. It's in your blood.
Yeah.
It's something you guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
and I feel like you guys have been doing this kind of thing for a long time through the family. Like even your ancestors may have been, doing like businesses like this, family businesses that they were very successful in.
Okay.
And that you guys have inherited that work ethic.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know from him. I worked there since after he passed. I went to help the family run it and work there for him, help him out, and then I learned to love it. So it's now my thing, and so I guess that's where that's coming from. But
that's great. Yeah, he's coming through, and he's a very warm person, and I really feel like he is really proud of what you guys are doing. He is apologizing for leaving. There's somebody who's really upset with him about it just because he was such a pivotal part of their life. It could be the son.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like sometimes he does feel alone. He has to kind of do this on his own. But the main message to him is that he is sorry he passed when he did. He didn't want to leave like at that very moment, but he did have to go on and work and do some other things on the other side. It was his time to go back, and he was called back to that place, and he does want to apologize to him and make it very clear though that he's apologizing, that he will see him again soon, that he loves the family, he loves his son, he loves everybody who is supportive and loving with him. I have about a minute left, and I hate to go, but
that's fine. That's fine. I appreciate it.
Thanks for calling in. Yeah, and you can always reach me again and continue the reading if you'd like. My website's in the bottom of the screen if you'd like to contact me on Facebook. It's at Anna Olsen Intuitive.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. And it made sense. So you have a good night, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for calling in. Well, there's a medium reading, and I really do actually like people who have a reading done, and they let me just tell them everything that's coming through. Sometimes I ask them, does this make sense? Because I want to make sure that we have the right person coming through, because sometimes they'll think it's another person, and we have to kind of start over and go back and backtrack and say, oh, actually it was this uncle, or it was your dad, or something. So thanks so much for calling in. I really enjoyed working with you tonight. Go ahead and contact me if you need me, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week, every Thursday, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. Have a great night.